All right, guys, so what you just saw is not me pretending like my financial debt never existed. It's what happens when a man stops fighting debt from the worst possible financial terrain. So the enemy is not just debt. The real enemy is American debt attached to American cost of living. That could be credit cards, student loans, personal loans, interest, minimum payments, rent, car costs, insurance, groceries, gas, taxes, and emergencies stacked on top of that. So a lot of guys think that having debt means they aren't allowed to leave America. They treat America like it's some kind of financial prison sentence. Like, I made mistakes, I owe money, I gotta stay here and suffer until my debt is fully paid off. That might sound responsible, but actually it's probably just fear wearing a mature voice and acting like that's something you need to do. So how do I know? I'm speaking from experience. When I left America, I had $20,000 in student loan debt. And I didn't wait for the perfect zero balance. I didn't wait until every bank account was completely clean. I looked at the battlefield and I realized that staying in America was not lowering my debt. It was making the whole situation even heavier. So debt can make a man feel dirty, ashamed, trapped, feel like he's not qualified for adventure. But debt is not a personality trait. Debt is not your moral identity. Debt is a number that needs a strategy. So one thing I want you to keep in mind is that debt is not your identity. It's a target for you to attack. So here's how the system of control in America works. First, the American system lets a paycheck hit your bank account, and then everything just attacks it all at once. First, your rent might take the biggest bite, car payment takes another bite, and insurance takes another chunk, and then groceries. And we can't forget about gas or the minimum payments you got to make on your credit cards. And maybe you even got student loans like I did. By the time the dust settles, there's barely anything left to attack the principal of your debt. So here's the problem. A lot of guys think they're paying off debt just because they're making payments. But in reality, all you're doing is feeding the interest, fees, and minimums while the actual balance barely moves. So you're sweating every month just to stay in place. For example, maybe you get paid on Friday and you feel relief for a few hours, right? By the time Monday rolls around though, most of your money is already spoken for. You open your bank balance and you feel something in your stomach drop. You're working hard, but the numbers do not respect your effort. Trying to pay off American debt while also paying American rent, insurance, car costs, and American food prices can be like trying to bail water out of a sinking boat. And meanwhile, the boat still has a gaping hole inside of it. And then the system shames you. The debt convinces you that you need to stay still, that you don't need to take any risk. The rent drains you. The interest punishes you. The work exhausts you. It's to the point where you're too tired to even think of building another income stream. And you're too scared to move, and you're too ashamed to ask for a different strategy. So the American system does not need to lock the door to keep you in. It just needs to keep your paycheck bleeding before you ever touch the real balance on your debt. So let me make this practical for a second. If you're drowning in bills, minimum payments, student loans, credit cards, and American expenses, you probably do not need another motivational video. You need an escape plan built around your real numbers. So I'm offering a free 15-minute Get Overseas strategy call. We can look at your debt, income, savings, country options, and build a route that actually makes sense for you. So you can click the link in the pinned comment or description of this video. We can do the call over WhatsApp, Instagram, or Facebook. I'm looking forward to talking with you. Now, you may not be able to completely erase the debt number today, but you can change the cost of staying alive while you attack it. And that's the weak point. The principal balance may be fixed for now, but your overhead costs are not. So the American matrix wants you to think that the only option is earning a bigger amount inside of the same system, inside of the same expensive environment. But sometimes the better move is not a bigger paycheck. Sometimes the better move is a cheaper battlefield. Because if your rent drops, your food costs drop, your transport costs drop, and your daily stress drops, the same income suddenly has more force. And money that used to be drained in survival can now be used to attack your debt. And here's how geo arbitrage works. It's not just living somewhere cheaper for fun. It's using location as a financial weapon so the same dollars hit harder. Now, you may be sitting in America thinking, I need to pay this off before I leave. But the question is, what if leaving is the move that finally gives you enough surplus to pay it off easier and faster? So you can't always change the balance of your debt today, but you can change the battlefield the balance is fighting you on. So here are the strategic moves that you should make. First, you should move overseas. Second, you need to secure a baseline income. Third, cut expenses. Fourth, get some stability, like stabilize a bit. And then you attack the debt from a position of strength. It's not recklessness. It's not hiding. It's not ignoring your obligations. It's strategy. And let me use myself as proof. So first of all, I left America with student loan debt and credit card debt too, by the way. I didn't wait for the perfect clean launch abroad. I decided that staying inside of the American pressure cooker would cost me years of life, energy, and opportunity. So stop fighting American debt on American terrain. If the terrain is eating your paycheck, punishing your nervous system, and keeping you too tired to build, loyalty to that terrain is not maturity. It is slow financial surrender. And that's why I recommend English teaching. Teaching English can give a man income, stability, and overseas connections that he won't have in his home country. It's not the final dream. It's the structure that lets you stop bleeding cash in America. So leaving America with debt does not mean you're running from responsibility. It means becoming more responsible because you're finally attacking the problem from an environment where your money has room to move. And waiting for the perfect finances can become the most expensive excuse of your life. And here's the new math for you. Rent that used to crush your paycheck might be able to drop to around $400 a month in the right setup. Food costs can drop. Transport can simplify. Daily life can stop feeling like a financial ambush. The debt may still be there, but your monthly life is not attacking you from every possible direction. And here's the psychological shift. In America, the debt feels like a cage because every month starts with pressure. But overseas, with lower monthly overhead and income coming in, the same debt can start to feel like a target. It might still be annoying. It might still feel a little bit serious. You're like, yeah, I got to get this handled. But it's not all consuming like it might be in America. And if your local life costs less and you're earning through teaching or some other income stream, the surplus can go back to the US toward credit cards, student loans, personal loans, or whatever balance is choking you. The difference is that you're no longer sending scraps. And your lifestyle is going to be a lot better because you can live good while paying off your debt. You can eat good food, exercise, date, walk near the beach, study language, like I'm a big language nerd, and build a second income stream while paying down what you owe. Paying debt does not have to look like misery in an overpriced American apartment. So I didn't leave America when my debt was gone. I left because staying was making my debt stronger. So same debt, different terrain, different man. So if debt is the enemy and the American overhead that you're paying is feeding the enemy, then the next question is simple. What gets you out without gambling your whole life? That's what we got English teaching for. English teaching is your baseline income engine. It gives you the first layer of cash flow, rent, food, basic lifestyle, stability, and it doesn't need to make you rich immediately. It needs to get you out of the American cost structure and into a position where your money can finally breathe. So here's the overall progression. First, stabilize your income. Second, lower your overhead costs. Third, send the surplus money you have towards your debt. Fourth, build the next income stream. That could be online teaching, private tutoring, content, consulting, digital services, or whatever fits for you when you're no longer drowning in cost. So yeah, since everyone's debt situation is personal, like a man with a $5,000 credit card debt might need to move differently than a guy who has like $60,000 in student loan debt. A man with a degree has different options than a man without a degree. And a man with $3,000 saved has a different timeline than a man with $15,000. So yeah, make sure you click the link and schedule your free 15-minute Get Overseas strategy call. so we can map out your situation. It'll be like we're in a war room. I'll take a look at your debt, your income, your savings, country options. We'll map out your teaching path, and we'll plot out your realistic first move. And if you're interested in more overseas strategy, thoughts from living abroad, just mindsets to help you progress in this overseas lifestyle, I have a weekly newsletter called the 3-Minute Madness Newsletter. You get short emails sent to your email every week about how you can live this lifestyle and take your life to the highest international level. So click the link in the pinned comment or the description of this video. Sign up for the 3-Minute Madness Newsletter. And yeah, just to summarize, having debt does not mean that you're trapped in America. Debt just means you need a better strategy. So get the plan, change the battlefield, and attack the balance from a position of strength. And I'll see you in the next video.